spectacle that spans 2 countries.
The wind is crazy, and that guy's going to be on that tightrope.
If you want to watch, you're going to have to play the angles. I'm Jeff Semple with the mad dash to the falls.
Jeff Semple is joining us live from Niagara with what people need to know before they plan to head out for this big event tomorrow. Jeff.
Well, Anne-Marie, it's tough to see in all of that mist, but the stage is now set. That tightrope wire spanning 550 meters, 2 countries across Niagara Falls, history in the making, and thousands of people are now on their way here to see it for themselves. On a picturesque afternoon, small crowds gathered outside to take in the falls. But the larger crowds were inside, hoping to get a glimpse, even an autograph, with the man who's about to tightrope walk into the history books.
Excited and ready to go, ready to get it past me.
Walinda will begin his walk on the American side, and it's expected to take him about 45 minutes to walk more than half a kilometer on a tightrope the diameter of 3 pennies. America's most wanted computer analyst is seemingly on the run again today. Officials here in Washington are scrambling to track the movements of 30-year-old Edward Snowden, and it seems they're not getting much help from their international allies. It's believed that Snowden left Hong Kong on a passenger flight yesterday, despite a request from the U.S. for authorities there to detain him. That flight touched down in Moscow yesterday morning, and it's believed that's where Snowden remains this morning.
Jeff Semple joins me now live from Elliott Lake. So, Jeff, tell us more about what happened there today.
Well, Andrew, 8 months since that deadly mall collapse. Today, residents of Elliott Lake came looking for answers. Day 1 of that public inquiry that's focusing on 2 key questions. First, whether something could or should have been done to prevent that roof from collapsing in the first place. Whether the mall's owners or structural engineers should have done more to ensure the structure was safe. And secondly, the inquiry will focus on the emergency response, specifically the province's specialized search and rescue team, and whether they should have responded more quickly.
Jeff Semple joins us live from the scene now with the very latest. Jeff.
Well, Dwight, take a look. We are standing right now just above the police command center, where officers have been set up all day conducting the search out of here by land, by boat, and by helicopter in the air. And they're set up right next to Credit River, where the foot was found around lunchtime yesterday. That discovery, as you mentioned, led to another grisly discovery this morning. A human head found severed, floating in the same river about a kilometer north of here. Marisol Palasox and Charles Wilton emerged from a meeting with Children Aid Society. The fate of their healthy baby boy, 3-week-old William, hanging in the balance.
We were in there where knowing that we might view William today.
Both Palasox and Wilton have cerebral palsy, mentally sharp, but with significant physical disabilities. A CAS worker ruled those disabilities made them unfit parents and obtained a warrant to remove the child from the home. After we first reported on the family's story earlier this week, the CAS says it received a flood of emails and phone calls from across the country, including some from community organizations offering to help. CAS says that support swayed their decision.
How are you feeling right now?
Overwhelmed.
It's the tallest freestanding structure in the Western Hemisphere. So what would you say to a chance to walk on the edge?
Heights are my biggest fear, and that's not even an option.
It's obviously pretty scary.
Reactions that left me wondering why I ever agreed to do this.
So we're gonna do our final checks now.
I arrive at the Edgewalk base camp hoping to have my fears put to rest. Instead, I'm given a waiver to sign, just in case, then told to take a deep breath for a mandatory breathalyzer test, just in case anyone opts for some liquid courage before ascending 116 stories. It felt good. Our Edgewalk master, Chris Hall, inspires some confidence, but then explains he worked as a cook just a few months ago.
Pretty stressful situations in the kitchen as well, so I guess they figured I'd be suited well for the Edgewalk.
And not to worry, he says. He's been well trained. Before we have a chance to chicken out, it's time to suit up and head up. Way up.
It's
like going up before the roller coaster.
Okay, so it's just started to rain, but that's fine. As long as there aren't high winds or lightning, we're totally fine. So that's really reassuring.
But with a little peer pressure, I venture out. Our first steps out onto a ramp about a meter wide with no railing, 356 meters above ground.
Oh boy.
A 360-degree view, the city's prominent skyline looking more like an ant farm, with Rochester, even Niagara Falls in the distance. Just when we were starting to get our sky legs, it's time for the main event. Leaning out over the edge, no hands, with a bungee rope as your lifeline.
Straighten those legs right out. Oh my God. Now you can let go of the rope.
If you say so. This is living.
How's that feel?
That feels pretty awful. This is fantastic.
Jeff Semple, CBC News, Toronto.
My apartment, actually. There you go. And the CBC.